Single family homes in Calgary are the most expensive that they have ever been. The pricing has stabilized, the sales have declined, yet the price has slightly increased. Let's check it out. My name is Fyfe, your Calgary Realtor. If you are planning on getting into the market in 2024, now is the time to start making your plans. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, go ahead, reach out to me. I'm pretty easy to talk to, and I try to utilize this data to benefit you as the consumer. So if you're looking at making a move, make sure to plan ahead well in advance. So single family homes in Calgary have reached $699,500, which is a $1,900 increase from last month and about an $80,000 increase from last year. Huge increases in Calgary. I do not foresee this slowing down too much in the new year, but we need to remember when we're looking at this price point, there's attributes actually added onto that. So when we look at this, you can see that these attributes citywide is a 3-bed upstairs, 1-bed downstairs, 2 full bathrooms, attached double car garage. It is about 1,500 square foot, 1 half bath. There's a furnace. The lot size is about 5,100 square foot. There is a fireplace included, poured concrete basement built in 1998. So for those attributes citywide on the average, these are what you're going to get. Now, if you're looking at individual quadrants, which we'll touch on in the future, make sure that you're touching on these attributes as well, because that could change up your game plan on where you want to move. So this written description is from the Calgary Real Estate Board. If you want to read it on your own, totally fine. Don't listen to my storytelling. Pause the video, skip to the next chapter. Limited supply choice for homes priced below $700,000 has been the primary cause of the decline in detached home sales. While November reported a marginal gain over last year, year-to-date sales have declined by 20%. November saw a rise in new listings compared to previous year, but higher priced homes drove most gains. This has left the detached market with exceptionally tight conditions for homes priced below $700,000 and more balanced conditions for higher priced homes. Overall, the month of supply remains exceptionally low at just under 2 months. Persistently tight conditions continue to cause further price increases in the detached market. As of November, the unadjusted benchmark price reached $699,500, a slight increase over last month and over 13% higher than last November. While detached home prices are much higher than last year's levels in every district, year-to-date gains are the highest in the most affordable districts of Northeast and East Calgary. So when we kind of go back to this graph here, you can see that the red bar is the price point. It has somewhat stabilized over the last 4 months, but we're starting to see a little bit more of an increase now, which is crazy because we're going into the winter months. That means in its entirety that there's still demand for the Calgary market. You can see that the sales have continued to decrease as well as the inventory is starting to decrease, but the demand is still there, soaking up a lot of the product. So now we have to ask, okay, what is the actual product that's continuing to increase these price points? You know, is it an affordable product or is it the higher end product? It was talked about in the last written description. So this is the year-to-date summary from this year as well as last year. Not going to touch on it too much, but it is pretty cool to see. So you can see over the last 4 months here, we've somewhat stabilized, going from like 696 to almost 700,000. Now, kind of a neat one here when we're looking at some of these things. You can see that the days on market is 32 days, which is actually the most, almost the most that it's been all year. You can see that the sales have slowed down, new listings and inventory, obviously with the seasonal adjustment there. The average price has increased as well as the median price here. So kind of a neat perspective actually. When you look at last year, you can actually see that we saw decreases last summer because of the exceptionally quick increases. If you actually look from May all the way until December of last year, look at how much the single family home has decreased. And yet when you flip the script and you look at this year, even though we had higher interest rates, our product continued to set new records and the pricing continued to increase all throughout the year. So pretty crazy time. Now, this is the months of supply or the inventory for the Calgary market. Now, you can see that we're somewhat similar to last year. We are technically trending down when you look at the red line, and I do not foresee this changing much in 2024. If anything, we're probably going to go even lower with inventory. So when we start to look at the months of supply, we're going to just concentrate on the detached market here. Now, you can see that most quadrants are under a month and a half, with the exception of City Center and West Calgary. Now, when you start to look at City Center and West Calgary, those are the more expensive quadrants in Calgary, which we'll touch on in a moment. Everything else in Calgary seems to have 1.5 months of supply. Now, months of supply just is an indicator showcasing how fast the market's moving. If no new buyers came to the market, no new listings came to the market, it would only take about a month and a half to clear up all the product that's currently available. City center is around 3 months, which is a fairly balanced market. Price shouldn't fluctuate too much in a balanced market condition, but we'll touch on that in a second. So when we start to look at the benchmark price points, now these are interesting. We're going to look at the detached market again. You can see that city center and west have similar benchmark prices, but everything else is a little bit lower. So what this really means is that when you start to look at the attributes of those quadrants, it's very important to realize what you're getting for that price point, because the city center and the west are going to be very different. But for this example today, we're only going to touch on the south and the southeast, which you can see on this chart here, are relatively similar. Now, when we're looking at the benchmark attributes and you're seeing all these different price points of these quadrants, it's very important to put these attributes into play. So high level, super quick, you can see that the southeast, it is a 3 total bedroom upstairs with 0 bedrooms downstairs. Now it is still technically a finished basement, but no bedrooms for whatever reason. You can see that the southeast has a double car garage just like the south. You can see that the square footage in the southeast is actually 130 square foot bigger. And you can see that the year built in the southeast was 2006, where the year built in south is 1983. So even though the benchmark prices are similar, they're very different attributes. So if you're looking for a newer product for around the same price, you would probably more or less go to the southeast. But if you wanted an older product in a older neighborhood, then maybe the south, a little bit closer to city center, is more your jam. So really, really important to look at these different attributes and have that conversation with your significant other or yourself. So this is interesting, year-over-year growth, price comparison. Not going to touch on this too much. You can see, like it was written in the description at the beginning, the east as well as the northeast saw the biggest increases. East actually saw over 20% year-over-year increase. Now, when we start to look at the benchmark price, it's the most affordable. So a lot of people that move here, they see those prices and they're like, oh, you can get a full detached house for like $400,000. That's crazy. That has been the most demand in Calgary, hence the major increase in price. So you're curious about what your home is valued at. I talk about this every single video. Thank you for everyone that's actually done this so far. I am making my way through, introducing myself to people. This system here is an AI generated instantaneous home valuation. Super, super interesting. Go ahead, put your property address in there and the system will spit out a home evaluation. If you're just curious, you're just curious. That's totally fine, no stress. If you are looking to get into the market in 2024, this is a really good first step in figuring out what your home could be worth. Now, it's very important that we go over the information together, start to do some comparative market analysis. Do you have additional renovations? Are you planning on doing renovations? Whatever the case might be, trying to prepare yourself for 2024. So, this is the microeconomic breakdown of every single quadrant in the city. Now, this is just the detached market. So gonna keep it fairly high level here. If you want to dive into this in more detail, it's very important to book a call. But you can see that these are the sales, the new listings, the sales to new listing ratio. Everywhere besides the city center as well as west saw over 80%, meaning a lot of homes that were listed that month actually sold, at least when it comes to the numbers. You can see that the inventory here, if you look at East Calgary, there's only 30 homes left over at the end of the month. But when you start to look at the sales, you can see there's only 28 sales, where if you look at city center, there was 100. So yes, the pricing is increasing dramatically there, but it's such a small amount that the numbers do increase or fluctuate more or less fairly fast. So this is a month of supply. Everything's kind of hovering around almost a month and a bit, almost 2 months. The benchmark price for every individual quadrant, again, make sure to relay those benchmark attributes, which you can go back a couple chapters and see what they were for every quadrant. Year over year price growth, pretty crazy. Everything's in double digits, month over month. And then I'm going to reveal this now. So you can see that every quadrant minus South saw an increase. For some reason, I couldn't tell you exactly why, South Calgary actually saw a decrease as a whole of $3,900. Now, when we look at the LM, or the last month, you can see that last month they actually increased by 38. So they actually wiped away all the increases that they saw in October and they've basically gone back to that. So if you want to learn about why that is, it is very important to kind of dive into the market together and figure out what's going on here. The eastern quadrant of Calgary saw a $9,400 increase from last month. Crazy, 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 especially when the benchmark price is only $469,000. So I would argue that East Calgary, probably by the end of next year, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that it'll be pretty darn close to 500,000, if not exceeding that by like next fall. If everything goes the way that it's going, I could see that. Where everything else is obviously going to see an increase, just a little bit of a slower pace. So where is the market going to go? This is the $1 million question. If things stay the way that they are right now, and interest rates decrease as they are currently trending in doing so, I would imagine Calgary is going to see more demand and more people getting into the market. I feel like a lot of people that had to sell sold in 2022, and then a lot of people left over, seeing that the market has continued to increase, have now sold in 2023. So I personally believe that there's going to be quite a bit of demand in Calgary and not a lot of new listings. Obviously, there's going to be people who need to sell and want to sell, makes sense, but the majority of people have sold in 2022. And then a lot of additional people have sold in 2023. So I think there's going to be a little bit of a lack of new listings, making inventory quite tight, which is going to push up our prices, especially if the interest rates continue to decrease. So very, very interesting year ahead of us. Very important to watch these videos every single month as I try and give a non-biased view on this. If you want to see anything differently talked about in these reports, please let me know. Comment below. Let me know what you're looking at. I don't really touch on a lot of provincial stats or federal stats. If that's something that you want to see, let me know, right? I was thinking about that and whatnot, seeing if I can talk about some other influences, but that's a side conversation. So Calgary is in a very interesting position, especially when you consider other major markets in Canada. Calgary is posed to have a pretty busy year next year. So if you have any questions, go ahead, reach out to me personally. Book in my calendar link in the description. Reach out to me via text or phone call. Let me know what you're looking at understanding more and ask those questions. So thank you very much. I really appreciate all the support that I've received on this channel. I look forward to meeting you all in person and text. So thank you very much once more. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.